This call is being recorded.
Fatness?
Michael!
Fatness! How do I sound? Because I lost the little foam bit.
Yeah, the truck's about to kick on, so give it 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, maybe if I turn the Bluetooth on, and then we can actually fucking... There we go.
Oh, that difference is, like, noticeable. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because the mic's directly above me. So...
Speaking of microphones, how do I sound? Because I lost the little foam bit on my microphone. I just noticed that it's not on there. So it is probably behind my couch.
Matters all that much.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not a sound technician or anything, so I have no idea what its actual function or purpose is.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah. So we're here. We're gonna do a little nerd dump for anybody who didn't hear the last nerd dump. What that is me and Fatty are gonna. I've got notes. Me and Fatty are gonna discuss a few very specific topics, and we'll try to keep it kind of short. So before we really get into it, last time we were on, I'm very disappointed to say that we forgot to mention Sean Connery passed away.
Was that the last time we were on, though? Because I thought that happened.
He passed away just before, like the day before, at 90 years old.
I mean, the man was an absolute legend.
Absolute.
Absolute unit of a human, and clearly, without a doubt, the best James Bond ever. I mean, fuck.
You could argue with us, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, he was the Highlander. He was
Indiana Jones' father.
Yeah, I mean, guy was a unit. Will be missed.
He was.
We lost a great one.
He had a good long life. He was 90 years old. Died of natural causes.
Did he die at home too?
Yeah, he retired like 15 years ago. When did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen come out? Because he retired just after that.
When he played Alan Quartermain?
Yes.
I mean, also an absolute unit, but hey.
Yeah, all the characters in that movie were really cool. That movie was a piece of hot garbage.
I don't know, I liked it.
It was fun, yeah.
I would, though.
Yeah. Also, we lost this weekend.
That thing.
This weekend we lost Alex Trebek.
Which I still think Sean Connery, when Alex Trebek made it,
right?
Sean Connery
How coincidental is that?
Yeah. Suck
How
it,
coincidental is that?
That's very odd.
So
however,
he filmed his very last episode. He filmed just 10 days ago. It will air on Christmas Day, his last episode of Jeopardy, and I can't imagine that he's not replaceable. Like Jeopardy will obviously keep going, but nobody can replace Alex Trebek. I think it's Ken Jennings.
That's like what's gonna happen when Pat Sajak finally hangs it up.
Oh yeah. I'd say get Ken Jennings. That would be a fitting replacement.
I don't know who you're talking about.
So Ken Jennings is the winningest contestant in Jeopardy history.
Okay.
Yeah. He is the
Yeah, that would make sense.
He has won more money and more games of Jeopardy than anyone else.
Interesting.
I don't know what kind of a personality he is, but I feel like it would be fitting to have Ken Jennings come in. They'll probably do the same thing they did when Johnny Carson left The Tonight Show. They'll have a bunch of like guest hosts for a while until they settle on
find the right
somebody.
one.
Better not be Jay Leno.
That would make Jeopardy very entertaining, though.
Yeah.
But we can always take away the fact that we still have Betty White.
Yes, we always will. Betty White will outlive every single one of us.
You think?
Who knows?
I mean, it definitely seems that way.
Yeah. She's what, like 96 years old?
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe even older. Right after Sean Connery went, I saw this meme. It's the Grim Reaper. He's standing at a claw machine. And he goes, Sean Connery? Is Betty White even in this machine?
Yeah. I saw one that was the Mortal Kombat, like the tower thing.
Yeah.
When you, like, beat on, like, the campaign,
and the queen is at the top.
Yeah. Like, I forget who was next on the list, but it was funny as shit to me.
Yeah. So, N7 Day was on Saturday. Did you see anything that came out from N7 Day?
No, I didn't pay attention.
Not a whole lot of big stuff. Mostly like fans celebrating stuff like that. That's what I love about you as a nerd, Fatty. Especially as it applies to this show. That you're a huge fan of all this stuff, but you're not paying attention to all the news, so I get to surprise you with stuff.
Yeah, I thought that's what the whole point to this was.
So, N7 Day, they had two big announcements. One of them, they have officially announced Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So the whole trilogy coming out for modern consoles, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series X. The systems are being
I'm not
updated.
Gonna lie about it. I'm probably gonna wait until I get the Series X to fucking download that.
Understandable. You still got the games. You can play them whenever you want, really. But the systems, like the operating systems for the games, are being updated so they play more like modern games. What I'm unclear about, and what the announcement wasn't exactly clear about, it's not clear whether it's a remaster or like a remake.
What do you mean remake? They can't remake them.
So remake would be just to take the skeleton of the game and just rebuild so that it's a completely modern game with the same story, same missions, same characters and everything.
Well, that would be cool.
Like, the first two games could benefit from that. But Mass Effect 3, even now, is still a good-looking game.
Is a masterpiece, yep. Yep, it's a beautiful game.
So those will be out early next year. No word of, like, there'll definitely be a next-gen release, but that hasn't been announced, like a release date for that.
Yep. As long as it's not that hot piece of garbage Andromeda.
Yeah.
That game was terrible. I didn't even make it past, like, the first two missions.
Yeah. You kept falling asleep. That tells you everything you need to know. Fatty fell asleep playing in a Mass Effect game. You did bad.
I fell asleep playing. Yeah, well, back then I was falling asleep doing almost anything, so.
True.
I mean, your brother's kitchen cabinets can attest to that.
So, the other big announcement from N7 Day is, so rumor had it that there was a small team within BioWare that was working on a new Mass Effect game. 100% accurate. It's happening. officially announced.
That's excellent.
Mass Effect. They're not calling it Mass Effect 5. It's just the new Mass Effect game. Probably released 2022. But they
I don't think you understand the nerd boner that I have right now.
Well, so you're going to have to, I'm going to tell you about this concept art, and then you're going to have to go look it up. Because they released some concept art along with the announcement, and it's a small group of people, mostly in silhouette, standing in front of, like, kind of a shabby, run-down, like, smaller ship. Definitely nothing on the scale of, like, the ship from the original games. So it looks like they're going to be different kinds of characters than you're used to from, like, your mission's probably going to be, like, on a smaller scale than, like, saving the universe. It looks almost like Star Wars inspired, like, original trilogy. Like, all I could think of was, like, Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon. Like Scoundrels or Space Pirates or something.
Yeah, I'm looking up the concept art right now.
But tell me the vibe you get off of that, because that's the vibe I get from this image. I
see a whole bunch of different images here, man.
There was only one official image that came along with the release. They may have shown off more before or since. But what you're looking for, it's like a sunset sky, and there's a ship that has landed on a planet's surface, and there are like people milling around outside of it.
I don't see the whole ship. Oh, there we go. That looks really good.
Yeah, like, but what kind of vibe do you get? Like, what kind of game are you expecting seeing that image?
It looks like a colonizing game.
What's that?
It looks like they're exploring a planet's surface.
Well, yeah.
I mean, obviously, doy. But I mean, it could be like a colonizing thing. It could be, because this thing looks like it's heavily armored too.
Yeah.
A big old gun on the back of it.
But I get the feeling that it's not the same kind of, like, cast of characters that we know from Mass Effect. And it's not going to be the same kind of story that we know from Mass Effect. It's like this new adventure in the same universe. Which is exciting. Like, I'll probably try Mass Effect again when the Legendary Edition comes out. I'll probably pick those up again.
What do you mean try them again? You never finished them?
I got most of the way through the third one, but the first two, they were just so janky and so broken. The problem is that they weren't built for PlayStation. Like, they weren't made for PlayStation. So as janky and broken as they were on Xbox and PC, they were even more so on PlayStation. It's like only the third one was made with PlayStation in mind.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they put it on the superior console, that's all, because it's a superior game. that was me giving Microsoft, like, everything that they want.
Yeah. You're their core audience.
Well, yeah, I mean... Oh, God. I got it. All right. I was reaching for something. So, what's your next note?
My next note is another thing that so when I was going over the episode from last week while I was getting ready to put it up, I started to mention something in that episode that I never came back to. So in January, there's a video game coming out. It is called Dragonborn. It's got nothing to do with Skyrim. It's got nothing to do with Elder Scrolls. It's Dragonborn spelled with an E at the end. And this game, it's a turn-based adventure RPG for the Nintendo Game Boy.
Excuse me?
When you can pre-order this game now, when you get it, it'll come in a little box with an instruction manual and a Game Boy cartridge. Like OG Game Boy.
But what?
And before I saw this, I wasn't even aware, like, this is a whole thing. Like, there are games coming out every year for Game Boy.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. They're not officially licensed by Nintendo or anything. Nintendo doesn't make Game Boy games anymore, obviously. But there are new Game Boy games coming out still to this day. Comes in a little gray cartridge.
But this doesn't compute with my brain. Like, what kind of game are they? Like black and white side scrollers?
Yeah. Well, this one's an old school RPG. Like, imagine, it looks to me like sort of Pokemon meets Zelda. Like a very old school Final Fantasy kind of game.
All right. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. I'm thinking about pre-ordering it. Because my Game Boy Advance still works. That'll play Game Boy games, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's silly. That's like silly nerddom. That's great.
Yeah. All right. I got one last note before we get into Star Wars.
Okay.
What's your understanding of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? How much do you know about it?
Very little.
You've seen the movie,
I've seen the movie.
guessing.
Once, way back, yes.
So they're making a TV series for Hulu.
Okay.
So the movie was not critically well received, and it didn't make a lot of money, but us hardcore Hitchhiker's Guide fans really loved it. Like, it was a really great adaptation. Especially the fact that even though Douglas Adams died a few years earlier, he had worked directly on this movie. Like, there were a lot of big sweeping story changes. Yes. A lot of big sweeping story changes that were his idea. So it's an adaptation, not like when somebody makes a movie out of a book and they change a bunch of shit and people get pissed off. In this instance, it was a bunch of shit that the creator wanted to change. But Hulu is doing a series.
Okay.
Based on, so Hitchhiker's Guide, it was 5 books originally, and then there was another book published after Adams died, written by the guy who does the Artemis Fowl books, which was also very good. But yeah, it looks like Hulu's going to be doing at least the first book they're adapting, which will be cool. I've heard Daniel Radcliffe may be attached to play Arthur Dent.
I hope he's the robot.
What's up?
I said I hope he's the robot.
He would work really well for Arthur Dent, like the main character. Like his general personality will work really well. I've heard people mention Donald Glover for Ford Prefect, which is the character that Mos Def plays in the movie. He's the guy who writes for the Hitchhiker's Guide. The only thing, so there were 2 characters in the movie who were so perfect. There was Zaphod Beeblebrox, played by Sam Rockwell, who played him just like amazingly well. And Marvin, the android, who was voiced by Alan Rickman,
wasn't it?
And he was so perfect as well. So they're going to be hard to top. But yeah, that's my
Okay.
personal little nerdgasm. I just recently started rereading the books, and then I found out about this TV show.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to light a cigarette.
That's all right.
All right, so now we can get into The Mandalorian. Season 2, Episode 2 went up on Friday. I watched it Saturday morning.
Yeah. I watched it Saturday afternoon. Can I just say that if that little child gets any more fucking adorable, I'm going to squeeze him till he dies.
It was a very fun episode. Like, I hear people complaining about how it didn't really seem to advance the story. But I feel like maybe it did.
That's like what everyone else at work is saying, too. They're all like, oh, it seemed kind of... I was like, dude, but it was super fun.
It was a really fun way to get him from point A to point B, you know?
And that's why, like, I love Star Wars for the simple fact of how silly it can get from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, these characters, like, everyone's bitching and moaning about all these different things, and I'm like, dude, stop being that Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Appreciate Star Wars as a whole, not just for the individual characteristics you hated. Like, there were parts of the prequel trilogy that I could just do without.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of things that I can complain about the whole fucking thing.
That's like,
really.
as Star Wars fans, that is our favorite part, is complaining.
I mean, I guess, but, like, when they said that they were going to do the new trilogy,
mm-hmm.
just the excitement from that alone was, like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, my cousin's children, Halloween this year, one of them was Kylo Ren, and the other one was Darth Vader.
Well,
But, little kids. Like, that's glorious, and that wouldn't have happened without the trilogy. It wouldn't have happened. And it's more about I feel like when you're an asshole about Star Wars, when people, those are the only ones that they really know. Like, that's dickish.
Yeah.
That is, like, my word on Star Wars. Whenever someone argues, like, oh, well, they shouldn't have done this, and they shouldn't have done that. This is all this, and this is all symbolism, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, can we just enjoy the fact that we got 3 more movies that were very good?
Yeah.
Like, they were well... All right, fine, maybe not well made, but they were...
Last Jedi, I could take
pieces.
or leave. I'll watch it over and over again, but to me it's a weak point in the series.
They were still a masterpiece of cinema.
Yeah.
Like, all right, fine, I get it. You're not going to like everything about it, but you know what? Fucking Star Wars, man. Stop being douchebags to everybody.
Yeah. It's a movie about space wizards, dude.
Yeah, like, can we be real? Chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
They have laser swords, bro. Shut up.
Yeah.
They can deflect bullets with their brains. Like, y'all. Kylo Ren stops a large laser bolt with his mouth.
And who can possibly argue that is not one of the coolest moments in the entire series?
When that fucking blaster bolt stopped, and you were like, oh, this guy means
you can do
business.
that? You can do that?
Yeah. You can do that? Like, that's what's awesome, too, and everyone's like, oh, they made the Force do this and all this overpowered nonsense. I'm like, dude, it's the Force.
Yeah.
It can and will manifest itself as anything it fucking wants to.
Motherfucking space magic, man.
Thank you. Like, don't bitch and moan about a fucking, like, an all-powerful power when it's manifested in ways that never happened before because someone else figured out how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Nobody could make a Force Ghost before Qui-Gon Jinn.
Thank you. But, like, that, and that's what I'm talking about, is, like, you look at, the Force is the Force. It is the all-encompassing power of the universe. It will manifest any way it fucking wants to.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all the, now I'll get back to my point, now that I actually remember what I was going to say. When you look at all of, like, the Sith Lords and all of the Master Jedi, they all had specialties in certain things. They all the reason they were masters and the reason that they were Sith Lords was because they learned how to use the Force in a different way than everybody else.
Yeah.
So, like, don't come at me with this, oh, suddenly everyone can do these things. Like, I mean, it's the universe, man. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, admire what it is, not why it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like one of the beautiful things about Star Wars was that you didn't have to explain anything. It's fantasy.
Yep. Yep.
But I thought this was a very fun episode, and I think things that happen in this episode are going to pay off down the line. Like, I don't
somehow.
think...
I mean...
So the idea of the child eating all those eggs, it's like he knows what those eggs are. I don't. So I've seen a lot of fan theories that say he wasn't actually, like, he was doing something to, like, keep them safe. And that's, I feel like that is a point that's going to pay off later down the line. I don't know if that's overthinking it, which is the whole thing we've been arguing about, but...
I think he was sucking them things down because they were tasty.
But also, right at the beginning, when those bounty hunters, like, try to take him out, that little one that's left that Mando is, like, bargaining with, he glances at Boba Fett's helmet. Like, he recognizes that helmet.
Yeah.
So there's another theory that says that these guys weren't sent by, like, the Empire to get the child. No, they were sent by Boba Fett.
No, they were to get his fucking armor. Or,
like, the child was a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I still strongly think that Boba Fett hung it up.
Yeah.
Either that or Jawas stripped him naked and kicked him out at Mos Eisley. Like, there's no fucking way.
No.
I mean, I don't know. The speculations are there, so.
So
I do think we have not. I definitely don't believe that we have seen the end of Boba Fett.
No, absolutely not.
I think we see, I mean, what I would love to see is Boba Fett as, like, a mentor to the Mando. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool, but I know that that's, like, stretching it, because that's not Boba Fett. You know?
No.
Like, Boba Fett went out like a bitch, and then suddenly we find out Boba Fett didn't go out like a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, that's the coolest part about all of this to me, is that finally Boba Fett, those of us that knew Boba Fett was a complete badass. Like, the essential badass.
Yeah.
Watched him go out like a fucking, watched him go out like a little bitch and be like, really though?
George Lucas had this, like, tendency to take these really awesome badass characters and kill them like a bitch. Like Mace Windu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I know
Toss
that
out
he's
a
not
fucking
around
window.
in the original trilogy, and I just feel like killing him off was not the way to go.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Mace Windu was, like, fun.
Yeah.
I don't think he was super, I don't think he needed
definitely,
to be continued.
As a character, he doesn't deserve a Star Wars story.
No.
But he was cool to have around.
No. Yes. What I would love to see, like, I can't wait for fucking Kenobi.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
I would like to see like an early Yoda story as well.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely get that eventually. So it looks like they are starting work on a Boba Fett miniseries. And I like that idea. You're going to get these, like The Mandalorian and this Cassian Andor series that's coming up. You're going to get these series that run for years. And then anything they would have done as, like, a Star Wars story movie, they're now adapting to Disney Plus miniseries. So there was going to be a Boba Fett movie. There was going to be a Boba Fett movie that was canceled. So now they're taking that story and they're adapting it instead into a miniseries for Disney Plus.
Well, that's the right way to do those kinds of stories.
And I hope that it takes place like pre-original trilogy instead of this time period with The Mandalorian.
I want to see what he does for Jabba.
Yeah.
Like I want to see the jobs he does for Jabba. I want to see like what made him so revered as a bounty hunter that Darth Vader himself was like, "Yo, help me out.
We need Boba Fett."
Yeah, like what made Darth Vader go, "No, I want that guy."
Yeah.
Because he's in so many different things before he goes out like a bitch.
Mhm.
Like, it's great.
But yeah, I hope it's a pre-original trilogy Boba Fett. Deal with the Hutts. I keep coming back to this. I really want to see the Hutts. I really want to see more of the Hutts. Because that's such a cool concept, this intergalactic family of gangsters.
Yeah.
Apparently, Cobb Vanth, Timothy Oliphant's character from the first episode, the one who has Boba Fett's armor, he has been in a few novels. Like years ago, he was in a bunch of novels. And in one of them...
Star Wars novels?
Yeah.
Okay.
In one of them, he is teaching Jabba the Hutt's son how to be a gangster. Because after Jabba the Hutt died, this other syndicate took over Tatooine, and the Hutts needed to get their power back. So this character, like, fans are so excited because this character has, like, gravity in the larger universe of Star Wars.
Good.
Yeah. We'll definitely see him again. I think he'll definitely be back. We're going back to Tatooine, I'm sure of it.
Oh, no doubt. But I didn't read terribly much of the books, so I didn't really read any of them.
Yeah, no, I read one or two of them. That was never my thing. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan as far as reading goes. I like sci-fi movies. I like sci-fi TV shows. I don't like fantasy novels much either.
I like fantasy novels.
Yeah, we're going to see more Cobb Vanth. I think we're probably going to meet our first Jedi in the next episode.
Now, what makes you say something like that?
So in the trailers, before the show started, in the trailers, they showed this watery planet, which is where they're headed with this little lizard lady.
Mm-hmm.
And lurking around, like in the background on this watery planet, was this mysterious character in robes and a hood.
Mm.
I think we're going to meet our first Jedi in the next episode. But I wonder if it's going to be one of Luke's new Jedi. Because I think nothing has pointed in this direction, but I feel in my heart that Luke Skywalker is going to have something to do with this season.
I think that's a bold statement.
I just feel it, you know? I feel it.
I think that's a bold statement.
Yeah. It's like I'll probably be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But I feel it.
I don't think, yeah.
In my nerdy little Star Wars heart.
I'm sure at some point he will have to be an influence somewhere.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
However, this season, no.
Okay. I mean, we'll see. I'm probably wrong, like I said. Nothing has pointed me in that direction. I just feel it. There are rumors that Lando Calrissian might make an appearance. Who would play him is the thing, because Billy D. Williams is too old and Donald Glover is too young.
I don't know. He kind of fucking killed it in Solo.
He did. He was really good.
I think that you could probably do some makeup on Donald Glover to make him look correct.
Yeah.
Hell, you might even not
They've got all the money ever.
Need to.
Yeah,
you might not even really need to. I mean, Billy D. Williams wasn't very old when he was...
He wasn't, really. And Donald Glover as Lando is only like 5 years younger than Billy D. Williams as Lando.
Yeah. I think they could do some things to make Donald Glover look correct.
Give him a little gray hair on the side.
I think that he should be Lando Calrissian from now on.
Yeah.
I
really hope they haven't completely canned his movie. Because Lando was going to get a movie.
He deserves one. I mean, shoot. We got Solo. Why would we not get Lando?
Yeah. He will, at the very least, be back for Solo, too. Which is looking more and more like it's definitely going to happen. It hasn't been announced, but
I was just going to say. What's the news you've been hearing on that?
It seems like it's going to happen. It seems like it's going to happen for Disney Plus. I hope that's not a miniseries. I hope they do a few more movies for Disney Plus.
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with that.
That's another thing I think
is a
cool idea.
Give me more reasons to justify paying $7 a month for something I only watch one TV show on.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten...
please give me a reason.
Some use out of Disney. I watch a lot of Simpsons on Disney Plus. I've watched a bunch of the Marvel stuff. Speaking of Marvel, the director, I can't remember the name of the director of the newest episode of Mandalorian, but it was the director of Ant-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's cool.
We saw Dave Filoni back as our first returning Rebel character, the X-Wing pilot, not the fat Asian guy. He's the dude from Kim's Convenience. But the other pilot is Dave Filoni, who is the showrunner on Clone Wars. And he is working with Jon Favreau on this series. But he was one of the X-Wing pilots on the prison ship episode, the last season. Mm-hmm. And they brought that character back.
And that's why they fucking let him go.
Yeah, he was there. He saw what he did.
Yeah.
Overall, really fun episode. And I think there are things that happened in this episode that are going to pay off down the line, even if it doesn't feel like this was a huge story episode.
Yeah, but it was a lot of Star Wars romp. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a side mission for the Mandalorian. Again, a side mission.
Yeah.
Like that, I thought it was great.
It's like
I enjoyed it.
He's doing this so he can go
it.
meet more Mandalorians. Like, it's not pointless what he's doing.
Yeah. Like, he's got to, yeah.
I just love that it's back. And I got something to look forward to every week.
Oh, that sounded dark. Do you need to talk about something? Are you okay?
It's just 2020.
So I have something to look forward to.
But it's just like I keep trying to watch stuff and I'm just not into it, and I'm just chasing that next Mandalorian high, you know. Chasing the crate dragon.
Wow, I was gonna say that. Oh my goodness.
All right, brother, I am almost home.
All right, man.
This has been a good nerd dump.
I think we had a good nerd dump.
We did.
It was like a solid episode, too. Jesus.
It was like 41 minutes, yeah.
No.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man, I'll talk to you.
See you.
Later.